Maleo. Dobra, słuchajcie mordeczki, teraz mamy na antenie Józka, który tu przyjechał do nas na studia, aby nagrać odcinek o tym, jak on podróżował do Hiszpanii, dokładnie do Santiago de Compostela. I miejmy nadzieję, że ten wywiad będzie ciekawy dla Was i posłuchamy. Dzisiaj dokonujemy taką próbę przeprowadzenia wywiadu w języku angielskim i z góry przepraszamy za to, że w sumie nasz angielski nie jest w ogóle żaden i tak naprawdę trzeba o tym pamiętać, ale my się uczymy i słuchajcie, robimy to wszystko z pasją i no only for fun tak naprawdę. Maleo. Okay, hey guys, today on our radio station, radio podcast, in our studio we have the special guest, it's Józef from University of Wrocław. He will talk about his study, about his trip at Spain at 2020s, and the first question to the Józef, it's where he studied and why he choose geology, and the question for you, Józef.
I think it was the best question I've ever heard, because what are you studying here and why it's just geology? So I think geology is the best studies for me. I'm sorry, but it is my first interview in English ever. So my English wouldn't be the best, but what can I say? I'm Józef. I've made my trip after high school exam, matura in Polish, and this was 2020, year 2020. Maybe I don't remember everything after such a big amount of years, but what can I say more? It was a very interesting experience, because after my exam, as I said, high school exam, I had the longest vacations, the longest holidays in my life, and I came up with idea to make a big trip by hitchhiking and alone. Maybe it's strange for 18 years old man, but I like huge challenges, and it was I think good experience. And why I've chosen geology, I've said, I think whole nature is interesting, and that's the reason why I've chosen geology.
Okay, thanks. It's a short story about your trip, but can you say on which years of study you are at university? It's first year of geology, or it's your last years?
Yes, I'm sorry, I've forgotten to say that. So I'm in fifth year. I'm studying with Stanislav. Maybe you didn't know that.
Okay, and yeah, I'm Stan. The Polish version is Stanisław and the Russian version is Stanislav, but the short form is Stan. Okay, let's go forward, and the next question for you, Józef, how long this trip is it was, and do you have your final point, or why are you going to the Spain? You have, I don't know, some reason for this trip, not only because you have vacation after when you finish your lyceum, but what is your finish point of your journey?
Okay, it's a very good question. For this trip, I've chosen the place of death of Saint Jacob, older Saint Jacob, because I have my third name is Jacob, and this place is in Spain, is in this country. near to how can I explain that it's almost the end of old world, of old continent of Europe, and I think it was very challenging for me to make this trip. So I've started it.
Okay, nice. You have your point, but you have any preparation for your journey? You have, I don't know, the camper or some, I don't know, special equipment for your journey, or you're going without anything, and you will try to survive at different conditions, and how it was.
This was holidays, so the weather was very good. I used to have only tarp and sleeping bag for sleeping. So I didn't need any special equipment, rucksack, tarp, good shoes, and that's all. My preparations maybe were more complex in the map, in the internet, to searching for places which I wanted to see, and directly where was my planned way. And after these short preparations, I've started my trip on the beginning of July 2020.
And you finished your trip at the August, yeah, or in July?
This was, I think, first days of August. Yes.
At this moment, I have some questions about geography, and then the next question will be about the geology of this region. And I understand that you have finished the Lyceum, and you don't have any knowledge about the geology, and probably the basic course of geography for you was enough. And at this moment, do you feel the difference at the climate? For example, at this trip, you going from Poland to, and then probably Germany, and going to at this France and Spain, and you feel the difference between the climate and in which conditions you are sleeping. It was cold night, or it was more hottest night for you, and have you seen the difference at the animals and the plant stuff and this stuff, how many people's helped you at your trip? Do you remember your drivers, or the main transport for your journey was the tracks, or it was the cars, these private cars? I don't know.
So your questions are developed a lot. And first, climate. In Poland, in that time, was around 33, 34 Celsius a day, and in that time in Spain, where I've found in myself 3 days after I leave Poland. Yes, I've okay, and there was around 38, 40 degrees. So the difference wasn't very big, and when I arrived there, I felt Mediterranean climate as all. And first place was very beautiful beach near Barcelona, with palmas, with very not hot, but the water was I think bath in this ocean was pleasure for me. In this not ocean, it's only a sea, but it was pleasure for me, and in this climate, European man, maybe Eastern European man, has some complications with sun, with hot weather, with not very, maybe with water. You have to drink very much water, and I think Spanish men are more maybe common with these conditions. And okay, the most strange thing was that the coldest night at this journey was night near to a river named Tag. This river is going to Atlantic Sea in Lisboa, and I slept near to Lisboa, and there was around 10 degrees at night. I think it's because the climate in this region is quite similar to desert climate, so hot days and cold nights. But on the other hand, in another desert I were, it is desert Monegros, near Zaragoza. There was very hot days and very hot nights, so at the day it was around 45 degrees, but in shadow, no in the sun. And maybe you know that if I have to catch cars, if I'm hitchhiking, I have to stay in hot asphalt, in hot road, so the temperature was very uncomfortable for me, and I had to drink very much water and so on. But this time, maybe this day when I was near Zaragoza, I've slept on the gas station, on asphalt, on concrete, exactly, and it is something like floor heating, so maybe 30 degrees at night, and the floor is this asphalt is hotter than fresh air. Yes. So it was interesting for me, interesting experience. So maybe about the climate, interesting could be that in Galicia, in the region where Santiago de Compostela is, because Santiago de Compostela was the end, was the target of my trip. In this place we have weather like in England, but hotter. So it was around 30-35 degrees, but in the coast of Atlantic, temperature was lower, around 20 degrees, when in Poland in that time was around 35 degrees, so I've loved at Polish people then. Okay. You asked me about geography. For example, the first interesting thing was near to Barcelona, on the gas station named Porta Barcelona. I've seen first time in my life Terra Rossa rocks. It is not non-consolidated rocks which are made from not Kalkstein. What is the name of this feature? So limestones after weathering in Mediterranean climate, and you have something like red clay, maybe red ash. No, red clay is better to say. And this red clay is red because of residual iron, residual iron oxidates, which are red and which are residual weathering rocks. So this was very big, very high level mountains with which was built from this Terra Rossa. Okay. Maybe interesting could be rocks from another place, from place where the river Duero and the river Ebro has their sources, and their sources are in mountains where Spanish highway is crossing them, and landscapes was I think breathtaking there.
The Zaragoza was the final point for you, yeah? I understand, or not?
No, Zaragoza was only a point in the way to Santiago de Compostela. Zaragoza is between Barcelona and Bilbao, so if you want to go from Barcelona to Santiago de Compostela, you have to go by Zaragoza and Bilbao and Santander. In Bilbao, I've seen Atlantic Ocean first time in my life. It was great experience. In that time, I was traveling with gypsy man, which taken me, who has taken me with his Peugeot 406. He was very interesting guy because, for example, he told me he has very many friends in Poland, so it was interesting for me. A gypsy from Santander has very many friends in Poland. Okay. With my journey are connected some maybe stupid actions, stupid experiences. For example, near Oviedo, I had to stay at night in a city named Aviles. because because of weak plans I've made before that. Because I wanted to sleep in Alberg. Alberg is a place where pilgrims to Santiago can sleep, but I didn't see that in Gijón. It is a city near to Aviles. There weren't alberg where I wanted to find it, but alberg which I found was alberg for homeless, and it was a mistake, and it was about 22 10 p.m. and I had to choose the bus, and with the bus I've arrived to this city Aviles, and then I had to sleep in city park, and at some point at the night two gypsies came and they wanted to sell me narcos. So I've asked them if they had any problem, and I exit this this city. So at 6 a.m. I was in entrance to highway, and then I started my journey from the beginning, maybe not from the beginning, but from that point. That was not very far from Santiago de Compostela, but these last days before the target was very very hard to me, because I don't know why, but people didn't want to take me on an autostop, maybe because of big amount of pilgrims in that place. I don't know, but after maybe 3 days I've reached this target. I've seen a tomb of Saint Jacob, but maybe it had to be my end of my journey. But I came up with idea to continue my journey, and I've chosen a place which name is Finisterra, or Fisterra in Spanish. Finisterra is in Latin, and if I said it in English, it will be end of the world. So the name of this place is end of the world, and it's because this is the farthest place to the west in Spain. So this place I think was very romantic, and I think if I was a poet, I would be there, because not sunrise, but sunset, big Atlantic waves, something like rocks, and you see this landscape, you see this sunset, this reddish sky, and you maybe hear your lovely melody. And what can I say? I've seen this kind of sunset. Maybe it is maybe it's experience I will never see after this one day. And this was maybe the most interesting target in my journey, not planned, but it was.
The final point is reached, and after Santiago de Compostela, we are going to Fisterra. It's probably called the final point of the Terra and land, and yeah, it's really far from Santiago de Compostela, and probably the more western part of this continent. Yeah. Okay, and have you seen any guys which was going to the Santiago de Compostela for this purpose? For this sand point.
So in that journey, I've met very many Poles. In the last maybe kilometers of my trip to Santiago, I've met more Polish men. For example, I've met a man from Ełk. His name was Patrick, and Patrick had some complications, but he wanted to reach Fisterra, and I think he motivated me to reach Finisterra too, and maybe it's silly, but I've reached this place earlier than him, because I was hitchhiking and he was going on his feet. Then I've reached Finisterra, and in Finisterra there were some Poles. I've met 3 Polish girls, but I wanted to stay alone in this place. I walked around this end of the world, and after this day in Finisterra, in end of the world, I've decided to see one place which was close to this. This place was Porto, and I've seen Porto. The most interesting thing there was a hostel. I've managed to sleep. Was interesting for me because I've met Polish girl there too. So I've met Czech people which were which were searching for a sleeping place, and I've joined them. And on a reception place in hostel, we've met a Polish girl. So I had a pretty interesting experience there. And next days next days was for arriving process for going back home. I think this part of my journey was very systematic. I've made some hundreds of kilometers to the border with Spain. From the border with Spain, I was traveling with, for example, a black trucker, which was from Capo Verde, from these islands, and he was listening African music, and maybe you can imagine we were traveling by Salamanca, by almost deserts, and African rhythms in in these places had interesting melody, interesting. I think it was very interesting experience at all, but maybe it's better to end this very developed speech, because at some point I've reached mountains, Cantabrian mountains, where was not very far from border with France, and I've slept there in rain, something between fog and rain, but this rain was very hot because it was around 35 degrees, so for Polish men, big moisture, maybe high moisture, and rain is interesting, is experience that you will never lost. And after this night I managed to because the night I've spent on a gas station, and after this night I've managed to change the gas station, so I had to travel by mountains around 5 kilometers. I had to go on my feet because anyone from this gas station wasn't driving to highway, and I changed it to another gas station where Polish trucker catched me to okay, not to, but he catched me, and then I've spent with him around 2 days. So after this whole experience, I've decided to visit my colleague, my friend, which was on a visit in his mother's house in Germany. So this was the end of my journey in Germany, in Kassel.
Thanks a lot. Józef, I have checked the road from Wrocław, from Trybulskiego to the Santiago de Compostela, and it's 3,000 kilometers. By car it's 32 hours, by train it's 3 days, by foot it's 27 days, and by bicycle is 1 week. It's really interesting because it's only at one direction, yeah, and you must come back, It's really, you spent 1 month, yeah, by this trip, around. Okay, it's really interesting, and I know you must be really crazy person to make this trip by foot or by hitchhiking. It's 3 countries: it's Germany, it's France, yeah, it's Spain, and as you say, you go into the Portugal, yeah, it's Portugal. 4 countries at 1 month, 18 years boys. After this, it's really crazy. And as I remember, you have said before that you make films, yeah, and you have your own YouTube channel, which title Józef probably, I don't remember, and you have some films, yeah, some clips of your trip, yeah. I don't know how many films have you made.
So yes, maybe it is interesting that in that journey very much people called me very brave man, and I wasn't very brave. I was maybe I wanted to see something new, and it was the reason, not because of my brave. And whole journey was around 7,000 kilometers.
The question was about your YouTube channel, the first, and the next was that you are crazy man.
Okay, so I've said about my for being crazy, but yes, I have videos in YouTube channel. It was something like a chronicle. I didn't want to become an influencer or something, someone like this. But yes, you can see these videos. Are going to see them. We will give a link to them. Okay, this was crazy journey maybe because my whole cash I had was around 100 euros, maybe more, but it wasn't very much because, for example, hostel with in Porto was for 16 euros, so you can see how much I had to pay. For example, water, 1 bottle of water was for 2 euros, around 2 euros, in gas stations where I had to buy it sometimes. And prices in these countries for Polish men aged 18 are very high, and I had to count my money. What can I say more about this journey? This was very satisfying experience at all.
How much do you prepare to the journey? It was 1 week, or you think about it half years before,
Maybe around the big trip I've had some ideas, but the idea of this exactly this kind of journey, this kind of trip was around maybe 2 weeks before starting, because I didn't had to make big preparations. It's easy to traveling when it's Schengen and when we have conditions like it was in 2020. For example, this was maybe it was 2019. I don't remember. Okay, you will see this in films, in videos, if you want to know it exactly. But it was before pandemic, and I think it had to be 2019. Okay, some mistakes in this interview. But after pandemic, I think everything changed, and traveling isn't so easy as in that time before pandemic.
You are right that at this time it's more complicated to go into another country or especially by hiking, because the people is afraid to take anybody to the cars, and 2 weeks it's really not much time, because I remember my trips to the Ukraine, this western part of Ukraine, and I must know about my trip probably 3 weeks before, because it's really, you need to prepare to this journey, to take money, to make money for the journey, and you have 100 euros, but you must to have it. Probably you are work for this 100 euros, or I don't know, but it's really interesting because not anybody can do this by yourself, and to make a decision to travel for 2,000 kilometers or more, and nice that you are a really brave person, as I say, not crazy. And you will say a little bit about the geology of the red rocks, these at the Zaragoza, and have you seen the difference in the animals, flores, I don't know, and these, or maybe we can to save this theme for our future interview. Maybe the last words, and have you satisfied of your journey? When you come back, you come to Poland, and you are changing your life. You is changing. The Józef at the first day when you started the trip, and when you come back the last day of the trip, you feel the difference between Józef and the first day and Józef at the last day. You change your life after this trip, or for you it was only the beginning of your trip to your future life? I don't know how you can explain or describe your life before and after the journey.
So sure, not very much things changed, but I think whole entire me changed a lot, because 3 or 4 weeks alone, it is time for changing a lot, and it is said that this sunset on Finisterra, on Finisterra rocks, changing your whole life, and I think maybe it's true. Maybe it's true that this sunset is important for your life after it. But maybe you can see it was difficult to me to traveling in Spain. For example, the reason is, as you can see, my level of English, but in Spain there were not very many people who are able to speak English. The most of them are only Spanish able to speak only Spanish, Mm, what about changing life? Yes, if you are alone such a long time, you will have to change. And I think it was important change for my life. Maybe I've became more brave. Maybe I can organize myself better, and that's it for from me in this interview. If you are a reliable person, you can travel a lot, I think.
Yeah, maybe yes, maybe no. Who knows? Because as I remember my trip by hitchhiking or by train, by bus, I remember this feeling when I come back to home and I feeling that I want to journey to the next day. I want to journey to another country or another place, but I don't feel constant feeling of my. I don't know. For me, it was okay, but I understand that the really often journey it doesn't help. After my trip, I have many trips at Ukraine, as I said before. I feel that it's really for every person is important to find our place, his place, of this earth, and I think the home place, hometown is really important for everybody, and yeah, journey is cool, but not often. I think the traveling all your life is I think is unsuccessful for you in the future because okay, you are changing, but really if you're changing all time, you don't have this stable point of your of your feeling, of your thoughts, and you don't feel stability at your life when you all time traveling. You obviously you improve your skills, language skills. You or see another country, you see another culture and tradition. You speak with another people, and I think it's really interesting to see another life. But I think every person must have his stable point, and the main culture and it's really interesting that you after your journey you don't go to another direction in 2019 and 2019 and you go to this to the study. You want to make a PhD, not PhD, bachelor degree, and then at this moment you make your master degree, and it's really cool that you find yourself at this education process, and not going to the Siberia or the USA. Now you stay at Poland and trying to be a more qualified person. It's really cool. And you have your skills, you have your history about the journey to this Spain, and I think in the future we'll have more occasion and more opportunity to go to the outside, but at this moment after geological study you will be more prepared, and you are more educated, and probably at the many regions at Spain you will see these geological features, or this special terrain, or probably you will recognize this core resources, and it's really interesting, and it's really cool that you choose this geology study and geography study, because you don't choose the informatical or maybe engineering science. You choose the natural science. It's really nice that you will find yourself at this university and at your hometown. It's a fundament of your future journeys. Okay, thanks Józef for your audition for this interview, and yeah,
Exactly, your conclusions are very good and very important. What can I say more? So traveling is addicting, but you have to know you have your duties and you have to do these duties in your life, and it's more important than your traveling will. So thank you for this interview, and see you next time, maybe in Polish interview version.
And maybe do you remember how will be the goodbye at the Spanish?
Adios, adios. Or hasta la vista, yes. But adios is more connected with me.
Okay, thanks. It was a Mented Maleo podcast for students, geology and geography. And see you next time.
Mented Maleo.
I właśnie na tym skończymy nasz wywiad w języku angielskim i mam nadzieję, że przynajmniej 50% naszej rozmowy było zrozumiałe, a dla nas to była taka próba nagrywania w języku angielskim, bo się uczymy, no bez przesady, każdy wie przynajmniej, że w sumie w Polsce nie jest do końca potrzebny ten język angielski, a szczególnie w środowisku pozonaukowym i dziękuję wszystkim za przesłuchanie naszego podcastu i szczególnie dziękuję Józkowi za to, że przyszedł tu i do usłyszenia. Cześć.
Mented Maleo.